Hi everyone, welcome to another yoga session. This time we are focusing on our hips, stretching our hip flexors. If you haven't done any of the warm-up sessions before this, then please do at least 2. In this session we are, like I said, focusing on our hips, and it's really important to keep our hips open and flexed. It's common to keep a lot of emotions and trauma in our hips, so we're trying to keep them open instead of shutting down. So we're going to start by coming into Marasana, the mountain. In Marasana, the hands are shoulder width apart, the feet are hip width apart, and we can walk a little bit on the spot here if you like. Drop your knees down, take a breath. You can come into Shashanka, the rabbit, if you like. And then lifting back up. And this time we're going to come back into Shashanka, but into the wide-legged, so bringing the feet together. Open your knees out as wide as you can. And you can place your elbows down. If you want to go even further, you can go all the way down. Take a breath here. And then coming back up, we'll bring the knees back together, and we're going to come back up into Marasana. From here, we're going to activate the Mula Bandha, the root energy lock, so lifting our pelvic floor, and then float our right leg up into the air. Bend your knee and then open your knee towards the sky, really opening our hips here. And come back down. Take a breath. And going over to your left leg. Bend your knee, open your knee towards the sky. And come back down. Drop your knees down, take a breath. Come into Shashanka. And we're going to come up into Vajrasana, sitting on our heels. Of course, the neighbour starts his tractor. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of movements now, moving with our breath, of course. So we're going to place the right foot forward, and a good indication of where you want to put your foot is to have an almost straight leg. This depends a little bit how flexible your hips are, of course. So we're going to move down, and when we are moving down, we want our knee to be stacked over our ankle. So we want to avoid a narrow stance where the knee goes beyond the ankle. It's not that big a deal, but it's not very good for your knee in the long run. So we're trying to find a good position here. So we're going to move with our breath, and this is really good movement for your hip flexors. You'll feel this mostly in your left leg here. So we're going to breathe in and then lean forward, so coming down with your hips, pressing down, trying to keep the hips square here. Lift your arms up, and as we exhale, we're going to reverse. So we're straightening this front leg. Come down with your arms to either side of the leg to keep your balance. Try to keep your toes towards the mat. It doesn't matter if they're a bit over here, but aiming to get them down. So we're exhaling here. And then we're going to move with our breath. So we're breathing in, shifting the weight, the hips coming down, lifting up. Exhale, reverse, straighten the front leg. Breathing in, out, in, out, 2 more, in, out, in, and out. Very good, and bring that foot back, and we'll come into Shashanka. Take a breath here. Come back up, and we'll place the left foot forward. So again, just make sure that you have a good stance. You can just test it out, seeing that the knee is above your ankle. Breathing in and out, reverse, hands on either side of your leg to support. Breathe in, out, in, out, in, out. Let's do 2 more. In, out, in, and out. Bring that foot back, and again come into a wide-legged Shashanka. Take a few breaths here. And walk yourself back up. We have 1 more movement to do, so bringing the knees back together, and we're going to come back up into Marasana. And as always, before we lift our leg up, activating our Mula Bandha, float your right leg up, and then bend your knee up here, look between your hands, and we're going to bring that foot between our hands, and then come down, untuck your toes. And from here, we're going to take a breath here. We can just bounce down a little bit. And then if you feel comfortable, you can place a hand on the inside of the knee and just gently open out. And try to sink down with your left leg. Open out. Take a breath here. And then placing your hands back nice and firm. Tuck your back toes under and lift back up into Marasana. Take a breath. And floating your left leg up. Bend your knee. Look towards your hands. Bring your knee and your foot between your hands. Untuck your toes. Come up. And then again, pressing on the inside of this knee. Coming out. Breathe here. Make sure that you don't go any further than you feel okay with. Don't press yourself too hard. Place your hand back, nice and firm. Tuck your toes under, lift up. Marasana. And then we're just going to walk the feet forward, relax down, slowly come up, and we're just going to open out, and we're going to come into Malasana as a finish. So this is a pose that is very good for opening our inner thighs and our groin. This can be a bit tricky for people to get their heels down. It's very common to sit here. So an easy trick to do if you're at home, if you have blocks, then feel free to use them. Otherwise you can just roll up a towel and then place the towel underneath your heels to come up a little bit. Or if you're struggling with maybe tight hamstrings, tight quads, then place the towel between your knees. So those are two options that you can use. And then trying to place the elbows into the inside of the knees, coming into Namaskar Mudra. And then we can just press a little bit open and breathe. Try to lift your back up as much as you can. Slowly release, calm down, and we're done.